Hey guys, welcome back to Life Daily with Shonda and Izzy. I am just picking Izzy up from her dad's house, so we are ready to get our Sunday started. I had a few things to do today that I decided to wait until Izzy is back to do so that she can start learning more stuff. One of the things was cooking. I decided I was going to cook her lasagna today. I also decided that I'm going to clean the fish tank, which I hate doing. So I definitely wanted to get her involved on this process. And then we also did more things like laundry and things like that. That is in a longer vlog video. But for this short one, you guys will see us cleaning out the process of cleaning out the fish tank. Our fish actually died, so we had to clean the tank and then get it all situated for our new fish that we just got. So that's the process, and I literally hate cleaning out the fish tank. So I definitely started, and then I said, no, Izzy needs to come help with this. So I took out all the things, and then I told her how to scoop the water out. I, of course, finished the rest, the cleaning, the actual cleaning part, but scooping the water out is like the process that I hate doing the most because it just takes time. So I got her involved on the scooping the water out part of this process. And unfortunately, there you might see our little fish right at the bottom. He just died. He actually got really sick when I went on my cruise and he never recovered, I guess, because he didn't eat for those 12 days. Although I read that betta fish can last up to 14 days with no food. I guess it ended up being too many days for him to go without food. He was never the same once we got back. So you see here, Izzy is doing a good job scooping out the water. So I usually just scoop it out till it reaches a certain level and then I pour the rest out. So I just got her involved on that process because I had a bunch of other stuff to do. If you guys did not see, I got a Temu order in the mail. So Izzy actually wanted some pastels and some oil pastels and pastel paper, so I ordered that from Temu. But I'm also gearing up for my next cruise, which is for my birthday in March. And for that, I ordered a pop-up beach cabana. If you guys watch my what to pack for a cruise video, you might see that I already had one of these cabanas, but it's much larger. I got that one off Amazon for $60. This one I got off Temu for $3.33. You will not believe it. And I wanted to find one that will fit inside of my large suitcase because I will be cruising out of Miami this time. So I wanted to make sure I had a pop-up cabana still. And I was happy to find this one because it's much smaller. It looks similar to mine. It's probably not as great since mine was $60. But I am enjoying these Temu prices because you can't beat $3. That and it looks like it's gonna work. So it has the same carrying case. I know how to fold them down and I will be throwing that right into my suitcase from now on. And I will also be taking that on the cruise. Izzy and I are going on a cruise in April. So I already have 2 more cruises lined up. We're considering cruising for her birthday in July to Alaska. I'm not sure yet. We haven't settled on that. But this is going to be the year of cruising. So I am going to have lots more cruise videos up. I actually really enjoyed my Christmas cruise and I like the ease of it and the limited amount of effort you have to put into like having a great time. So yes. And to get Izzy started, I'm teaching her how to wash and clean the vegetables. Sometimes I soak the vegetables in vinegar water, but if I'm going to cook right away, I have this little bamboo brush and I just use some veggie wash. I was teaching her how to cut up the food, and you see she's holding a fork to hold the pepper instead of using her hand. I was so worried about her getting the knife close to her hand, so we ended up using different things to kind of hold the vegetables in place so that she could cut them safely. So that worked out. And then the garlic was so small, I ended up giving her a spoon to push the garlic so that she also wouldn't have to use her hands. But she's doing a great job chopping everything up. She kept saying, "Oh, I'm such a little chef. Look at the little chef." So she was really enjoying it. And she loves my lasagna, so she needs to learn how to cook it. I only had her, well, I had her mostly help with the meat sauce. So basically we chop all this up and we let it cook on low for about an hour or so. I don't brown the meat beforehand. I just cook the meat inside of the sauce with all the other ingredients. So it was good for her to see this step. And she was raving about how good it smelled and all of that. So this was very good for her to get a little bit more involved in the process. I decided this year that's what I want to do. I want her to be more involved in doing things around the house versus just playing all the time or being on her iPad or playing Roblox. We're going to get her some life skills this year. So she enjoyed it. She was there and she was like, "What do I do? How do I do this?" So it ended up being really great. I was telling her to just pour it in and then she can wipe the knife on the edge of the pot so she doesn't have to use her hands. So she is learning, and this is just the butter and garlic part of it. So we're just adding a few ingredients at a time. I always add my garlic in first. I brown that a little bit. Then I add in my peppers and onions. We added some diced tomatoes, and this diced tomatoes from Aldi already had some sort of basil seasoning. It's like a seasoned diced tomato, so I decided to use that. And then this is the pasta sauce that Izzy likes. She likes this tomato and basil sauce. It's actually organic and it's natural, all natural from Aldi, but this is the one she prefers, so we always get this one. She's a big pasta and pasta sauce lover, so I'm always buying pasta sauce, and this is the go-to for us. So now we have the meat in there, all the peppers, onions, the diced up tomatoes. I did not add the tomato paste now that I'm looking at this. I forgot to add the tomato paste into the lasagna, but it's fine. We have enough tomato-y things, but you can definitely add tomato paste. There will be a long video on our channel for how to cook lasagna. I have all the steps recorded and I will be uploading that in the coming days. So be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. I will tell you, I am not biased because this is my recipe. This is one of the best lasagnas I have ever tasted. I wasn't a big lasagna cooker. I used to always buy lasagna from this Italian restaurant in New York City. It's famous. It's called Carmine's. So I used to just order a pan of lasagna because it's family style. But I also wanted to learn how to make a really good lasagna at home. And I have this recipe that I found a long time ago. So I have it in my phone. We make a white sauce. We make the sauce ourselves with milk, Parmesan cheese, butter, and flour. And so we have a good like meat sauce and then the white sauce recipe. So I have, like I said, I have the whole video on how we make all of it. And when I tell you this lasagna is delicious, I only buy the Carmine's lasagna now if I don't feel like making this one because it is a process. If I have the time, I make it myself. So I usually try to break the steps up. I make the meat sauce first, then I make the white sauce. And that way it isn't as long of a day, although it still takes pretty much the whole day. So I have to cook it early in the afternoon so that we can have it for dinner. So you guys are seeing all the steps. Izzy ended up taking a nap. I had to wake her up and tell her to come finish helping me. So that was me like pulling her out of the bed basically. And I told her to wash her hands so she could come get involved in this step of doing the white sauce, putting the white sauce on. I wanted her to learn how to layer up the lasagna. So she is just learning all of the steps for the layering. I do want to say I use the oven ready lasagna. However, I like to cook it al dente, so that's why the lasagna pasta is cooked already. I never find a good oven ready lasagna pasta that I like the way it comes out once it goes into the oven. So I found it easier for me to just pre-cook the pasta, whether it's oven ready or not. And then I sit it in some cold water, which you guys will see in the long video of how I make the lasagna. And then we layer it up. And I was teaching Izzy, as you see, we're not using a traditional lasagna pan. And a lot of Italians or people who cook lasagna professionally tell me, you can't call this lasagna because this isn't how lasagna is made. Well, this is how we like our lasagna or whatever you want to call it. It tastes good this way to us, and this is how we make it. This is a Dutch oven pan, and when I put the lasagna in this pan, It tastes delicious. I've tried using the regular lasagna pan. It does not come out the same. So we stick with this method, and the lasagna is mainly for Izzy. So, kids are really picky. So I make this for her. I cut it up and I freeze one square, one serving, and I can defrost it when she needs it for lunch or if she's going to have it for dinner. So this is good for me because it'll last for a while. I won't have to cook for a couple days. She'll just eat the lasagna for a few days. And this is the way that she likes it. So this is how I make it. So we didn't fill it up with a bunch of layers. We stopped there, and now we're going to put it in the oven like this. Later on, I'll take it out of the oven with the lid off and put more mozzarella cheese on top and let it brown a little bit. And then let it cool off, and then we can eat it. I will freeze the extra white cheese sauce as well as the extra meat sauce. I usually freeze it so that next time I make a lasagna, I already have the stuff.